We are now live.
Good afternoon. We will call to order the August 20th meeting of the Project and Infrastructure Committee of the Downtown Development Authority. Chad, would you call the roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Peter Dewan,
Present.
Jim Kroom,
Present.
Michael Kruger, George Lahanas,
Present.
Greg Ballline,
Here.
Jill Feltosh,
Present.
Tom Yaden,
Present.
and Mayor Stevens.
Here.
And that completes the roll call.
Thank you. We have the agenda as presented by staff. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented and ask for a second.
Second, George.
It's been seconded by George. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda has been adopted as presented. We have, as we have for every meeting of the Exec and Finance, or excuse me, the Downtown Development Authority, a time limit for public comment. This is pursuant to our previous actions, pursuant to MCL 15.263, limiting public comment to 5 minutes per individual for all electronic meetings held by the DDA Project and Infrastructure Committee. I move approval of that, adoption of that time limit, and ask for a second.
Second, George.
Been seconded by George. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion has been adopted. At this point, is there anyone wishing to address the Project and Infrastructure Committee from the public? Chad, could you let us know if someone's calling in?
Chad, you're muted.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Currently, we have one caller in the queue.
Okay.
Our first caller ends with the last three digits of 963. Caller with the last three digits of 963, you will be unmuted and given 5 minutes to speak. If you do not wish to speak, please say pass. Caller 963, your time begins now.
Welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, great, thanks. This is Alice Traeger. Just two quick things. Wanted to reiterate Jim's comment from the earlier meeting about Heather's mastery of the DDA budget. It's amazing how much she knows every little item in there, and it's super helpful whenever we have questions. You have before you today a discussion of the site plan and special use permit from Walgreens Company. I'm going to make basically the same comment I made at Planning Commission about this, which is I am a huge fan of Campbell's Market and am thrilled that they are now selling beer and wine and cider, especially a lot of local products. They are doing so without an SUP, and they would be at least the third in a row to be doing this. The Marathon from Brookfield Plaza, Target, as you know, and now this one. Walgreens is actually going through the legal process appropriately starting at the beginning. But I think this really raises the question why we bother with this. And I really want to encourage you to encourage City Council to just get rid of this altogether. I'm not saying necessarily for bars and restaurants, but certainly for sales of alcohol, all we ever do is approve these. And what we end up doing is creating extra work for businesses. And for companies like Walgreens and Target, I don't really feel sorry for them because I think they have the money to pay lawyers and to take the delay and all of that. But for companies like Campbell's, which are really mom and pop businesses, they don't really have the money and the time to be spending on this kind of thing. I also think it's a waste of time, frankly, for the DDA and the Planning Commission, the City Council, when you all have so much work before you. So I would recommend that we just get rid of this. Frankly, if we are not going to take action on SUPs when we have situations like the one we had at Harper's, we're never going to take actions on these SUPs. The truth is the City Council, the DDA, any group can at any time contact the Liquor Control Commission and tell the state's Liquor Control Commission that there's a problem with a business. And I think that's perfectly appropriate when there's a problem with the business. I actually don't want to see the DDA or the City Council attempting to pull an SUP on these kinds of things, because frankly, I think it'll get us into an expensive lawsuit that we don't need. Let the Liquor Control Commission do its job. If we have a reason to weigh in, we can do so. But as it is, we basically are allowing people to sell alcohol without even having this in place. As far as I know, Campbell's has no active application because David Haywood didn't mention an active application of Planning Commission. So it really raises the question of why we're bothering with these things. What ended up happening at Planning Commission is a lot of discussion about window fenestration and what's going to be in the windows in terms of cabinetry and these kinds of things. I frankly think this kind of thing is not what was envisioned in the original alcohol SUPs. As David Haywood said, it's supposed to be relevant to the issue of alcohol. And what ended up was a long discussion about whether or not cabinets in front of windows make sense. I think that's a legitimate question to have, and that's a question for form-based code or for zoning codes or things like that. This is kind of crazy the way East Lansing does things. We put a wedge in and then we use the wedge to cause a lot of misery on other issues. So I just want to strongly recommend that you consider, for the sake of the mom and pop businesses, just getting rid of the system altogether and just acknowledging we approve all of them. We never pull them. We might as well just get rid of the law. I'm in favor of deregulation when it gets in the way of small businesses. Thanks. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, caller.
Is there anyone else wishing to address the Project and Infrastructure Committee?
No, Chair, that completes the caller queue.
Okay, and there are no written communications. So let's go on to the Walgreens SUP. And Adam, are you going to cue this up for us?
I believe Dave Haywood will be queuing this up.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Haywood.
Hello, welcome. Thanks for setting this up. So this is a special use permit from Walgreens to sell packaged beer and wine. They are proposing to take up about 7,600 square feet of the first floor, which is about half of the available retail space there. And within their store, they propose to dedicate about 10% of their floor area to alcohol sales. Their hours of operation are between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. As per code, we contacted the religious institutions within the area, that being the People's Church. They responded and had no concerns regarding the proposed alcohol sales. There are 4 conditions recommended in the staff report to the Planning Commission, those being fairly standard conditions of approval, that they have responsible business practices related to alcohol sales, that they obtain the required liquor license, standard language regarding sign permits, and recording of a memorandum of special use permit. Planning Commission held a public hearing on August 12th to discuss the item. Was pretty much summed up by Ms. Dreger, and they will meet on August 26th for potential action. And with that, I would take any questions.
Are there any questions of staff? I just have one question. What is the state code with regard to proximity to a religious institution?
Ooh, good question. Give me just a second. I can look up, see if it's listed in our code.
Well,
just a minute for that.
And if you don't have it, that's fine. I was just curious. I mean, it seems like there's another establishment that's in closer proximity than is the Walgreens. Right across the street. But it's somewhat immaterial anyways, likely. Yeah, Jonas?
Oh, right. So I thought you said the religious institutions or the proximity to other.
Yeah, People's Church.
Yeah, so I think they can provide an objection or comment on it. So maybe back when they got a liquor license, Jonas got a liquor license. I'm not sure how that was in play. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, it was just a more of a curious question than a question relative to the issue before us. But I have no objections to this SUP. I don't know if there are other questions that board members have or would like to ask questions of staff. I'd like to just simply offer a motion to approve the requested SUP and ask for a second.
Second, Mayor.
Mayor Stevens seconded. Any additional comments with regard to the SUP? Seeing none, let's just call a roll call vote. Chad?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Dewan,
Yes.
Kroom,
Yes.
Lahanas,
Yes.
Ballline,
Yes.
Feldposh,
Yes.
Yeadon,
Yes.
and Mayor Stevens.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you. There are no other items on our agenda. Are there any board member comments or announcements? Seeing none, I move that we adjourn the meeting and ask for a second.
Second, Mayor Stevens.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.